Canelo Alvarez defeats John Ryder. It took 12 rounds. They both made it to the end. Canelo defeated John Ryder. I want to give you guys the Boxingego post-fight breakdown, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Let's rock and roll. Canelo had a hometown fight, very, very predictable fight. He chose another European fighter to go up against for this fight. He claims he was off of some surgery, and the fight was very much what I expected. I told you it was going to be a trash pay-per-view, and it was a trash pay-per-view. I expected nothing great from this fight, and Canelo delivered just that. So congratulations. You played yourself, Canelo. So my good, Canelo wins. He pads his record with another cherry pick. Amazing. Now, I got some stuff in the bad and the ugly department. Now, some of you guys had the nerve to ask the king of boxing talk, Boxingego, if I was doing a Boxingego watch party. I don't think you understand how this works. Of course, I was not doing a Boxingego watch party. I'm Boxingego. Those are reserved for fights that I actually care about, and I wasn't going to waste my energy or resources for this particular fight. Very, very predictable. In fact, in terms of good, the good is John Ryder was very tough. Kudos to him because he made it through the fight. He did get dropped early in the fight. His face was a bloody mess, and I know he was going through it. He was already overmatched, 50,000 fans against him. So I do want to give a lot of credit to John Ryder, and that's what you usually get when the fight is a mismatch. You get a situation where the person who is heavily favored only has room to kind of be criticized, because you got to look at it like this way. If John Ryder would have won, then people would, of course, Canelo said he was retiring, so that would have obviously been a bad look. But even how the fight played out, it didn't do anything positive for Canelo Alvarez outside of he got to fight in his hometown for the first time in 12 years. But I got to look at it and be realistic. You had an overmatched John Ryder who has a basic style, who has 5 losses. He had the 50,000 people against him. So the only thing really good that I can say from this performance was that John Ryder, with all those things against him, he was backed against the wall, and he was there to fight. He didn't come to lay down and collect a paycheck. So I could respect that as a fighter. Let me cook Canelo. Let's talk about the bad and the ugly. The bad is Canelo Alvarez has looked like he's struggling. You're fighting people that no one really wanted to see you fight, and you're not emphatically getting them out. So Canelo Saul Les Imparty Alvarez has not been looking the same. And this is what I've been saying. When I think I have no choice, but since this is out the way, Canelo beat John Ryder, I have no choice but to look towards the future and bigger and better opportunities and better matches that I want to see. Should Canelo fight him, which he probably won't, all of the options are super dangerous because I'm seeing some falter in Canelo Alvarez. Maybe it's drinking, maybe it's the golfing, maybe it's he lost the passion. I mean, I really don't know. You'd have to ask Canelo. I don't know what it is, but when I'm assessing his performance, I see a regression in Canelo Alvarez. Some people would say, but yo, Ego, what you mean Canelo's regressing? Canelo, to me, and this is just my honest breakdown, Canelo has looked almost worse and worse. He's fading at the end of fights. You looked at this fight, the last round, John Ryder, after almost getting bodied and knocked out, he couldn't pull the trigger to actually knock an overmatched guy when you had all the advantages. I don't know if there was drug testing for this fight. The 50,000 people were there to see you. You had this elaborate ring walk. So John Ryder really had no advantages except he was slightly higher. He didn't have better pro experience or bigger events. He hadn't fought Miguel Cotto. He hadn't fought Floyd Mayweather. So everything was really against him. And he still went 12 rounds with you after it looked like he was honestly going to get out of there. So for whatever reason, Canelo is struggling to pull the trigger. That is something alarming because you look at Canelo, he built this repetition as the Brit Basher or the European Slayer or whatever they're calling him. And he's beat all these guys and they're progressively getting worse. Like you look at how he knocked out Amir Khan, a British fighter. It was a sensational one-punch knockout with Amir Khan sleeping. He stopped Liam Smith to the body, and when he fought let's say Rocky Fielding, he knocked him out in 3 rounds. He fought Caleb Smith. He took very little punishment, and it was a one-sided fight. But as we keep going on and on, again, progression, as Canelo's career's progression, like he didn't look that good versus Kovalev, and people made excuses. Oh, he wasn't familiar with the weight. He definitely didn't look good versus, you know, even the Billy Joe Saunders. Billy Joe Saunders, I seen that Billy Joe Saunders had some moments. You know, some people were even saying Billy Joe Saunders was winning the fight. You know, I didn't quite see that, but nonetheless, he didn't look sensational until the end, right? And so on and so forth. He lost to Bivol. Triple G was 40, 41 years old, and you got hurt by him late in the fight when you were dominating early. And then now John Ryder goes 12 rounds in your backyard. You're in Mexico, where you're from, first fight in 12 years. And correct me if I'm wrong, but in the 12th round, John Ryder was putting some things together. I gave John Ryder the 12th round, mind you. And it sounded like, correct me if I'm wrong, it sounded like the crowd in Mexico was booing Canelo Alvarez, or they were booing the fight or something, because I heard some boos. You guys let me know in the comment section if you heard them boos, because I heard some boos. I heard boos like it was Valentine's Day. You feel me? So Canelo is, you know, he's struggling. The man is struggling. And it just, like I said, we got past this fight. Canelo he's fresh out of excuses. He got this surgery on his hand, so you can't say that's the problem. And he's still not looking sensational. So I had no choice. I gave John Ryder no shot. Like I told you, I said this is going to be a trash pay-per-view. I said I wasn't really interested. I didn't do the Boxing Ego watch party. I didn't really overly promote, because you have to understand, I'm ego. I'm Boxing Ego. I love boxing, but at the same time, my energy is finite resource. I don't have an infinite amount of injury, so I got to really care about it. I'm not just getting on here bumping my gums. I make money. I'm cool. I don't have no issues. So I got to really almost like the fight or want to promote it. And it just wasn't, it was a mismatch. It was a mismatch. John Ryder really didn't even beat Danny Jacobs, in my opinion, had 5 losses. And, you know, Canelo looks like he's going to demolish him, which was very predictable. The only thing that wasn't predictable is the durability and resolve of John Ryder, and he actually strung it out and was landing some significant shots on Canelo Alvarez later in the fight. In 2023, if you have Canelo in your top 3 pound for pound list, then I'm considering you a fanboy or a drug addict, because you smoking that Zaza, open as Lata, or you off that Blue Magic. Yeah, name brand like Pepsi. I guarantee you my dollar, huh? You are high, or you are on something if you have Canelo Alvarez as pound for pound. Canelo is absolutely food, mark my words. So all the people who are clinging on that he's the face of boxing, he's not putting on face of boxing events nor performances. Gervonta Davis, the true face of boxing, he just went in there and fought a bigger Ryan Garcia, who came out trying to gun him down in round 2, and he stopped all that noise and dropped Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia fought skittish for the next few rounds. Then Ryan Garcia kind of started to get back into the fight, maybe round 6, and then he gets knocked out by round 7. That's how you close the show. Ryan Garcia, you know, and imagine if Tank fought in Baltimore, you know what I mean? People wouldn't even want to see the Ryan Garcia fight in Baltimore, because they would say that's unfair. Canelo fought in his backyard and really went 12 rounds with John Ryder after it looked like he was about to crush him. That's concerning. When we're talking about the guys that are barking up that Canelo tree and want a shot, David Benavidez is mandatory, right? David Morrell Jr., his mandatory. Jamal Charlo, a fight he could have been had. You got Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade, a fight he could have been had. Not this, oh, you're a horrible fighter, horrible. He's horrible. You're saying Andrade's horrible, but then you're willing to fight Avni Yildirim off a 2-year loss and a layoff, right? You can fight John Ryder in Mexico, but you can't fight David Benavidez in Mexico, and y'all both speak Spanish, you know? So the jig is up. Canelo Alvarez, he had a great run in the sport of boxing. He still has skills, but I see Canelo looking worse and worse, and kind of cherry picking, and his fans are just going around it saying he could do whatever he wants. he's Canelo Alvarez and he's earned it. But boxing doesn't work like that. It's a what have you done for me lately sport. Again, I wasn't impressed with what I seen from Canelo, especially when we're having the conversation. Some people are saying that Canelo is top 1, top 2, top 3 pound for pound. I do not see that. How are you that? Imagine if Bud Crawford had a hometown fight against an overmatched guy. Oh, that's right, he did. And it was his last fight against David Avocado. He was coming off a long layoff, but the difference is Bud is an assassin and David Avocado never really had any momentum. He was never marking up the face. He did nothing, and he got brutally knocked out, probably with one punch. I got to watch the knockout again, but I know he got knocked out. I don't know if it was one punch or a few punches, but I think it was one punch. That's how Bud closes the show when he has an overmatched hometown fight. I was at Errol Spence versus Ocampo, who's a big dude. He had a hometown mandatory fight, and guess what? And Ocampo went on to win and go the distance with Sebastian Fundora. Guess what? Errol Spence got a knockout in the first round. Canelo is having hometown fights in 2023 and is getting hit and his face is marked up and he's looking tired after it looked like he was about to crush the dude who's clearly overmatched. That's not a good sign when we're talking about Bivol rematches and stuff. I see no way that he beats Bivol unless he beats him with some kind of stipulation or something crazy. Canelo, I didn't see Canelo looking invincible. Guys like David Morrell, you know he's gonna stay away from him. You guys got to look. David Morrell is 6 foot plus. David Benavidez is 6'2", 6'2 and a half. Demetrius Andre, all these dudes, 6 foot. Charlo, 6 foot, right? So they're significantly taller, but it's not just about height. It's about their style, different styles. But you have a tricky southpaw who can use his legs, who can fight toe to toe in Demetrius Andre, dangerous southpaw who's insanely confident, and that's David Morrell Jr. David Benavidez, who has equally fast, if not faster hands than Canelo, plus a height and reach advantage. And they're just overall better fighters and more dynamic than a John Ryder. John Ryder had zero jab, and was still getting combinations off and uppercuts off on Canelo Alvarez. Again, these things, unless you're a fanboy, you should be very concerned. If you're calling Canelo the face of boxing after watching that John Ryder performance, you should be highly alarmed and highly concerned. The regression is very apparent for whatever. Maybe it's lifestyle changes like drinking alcohol, partying, made too much money, and now you're content. I don't know. Whatever it is, it's showing up in the ring, and Canelo has gotten lazy. He used to be very creative with his arsenal and his offensive like punch selection and variation. He's loading up, walking forward, and trying to overuse the right hand. And it's not even creative, because I've watched creative punchers like even Floyd Mayweather. He throws the right hand in so many different dynamic ways. It's not the same right hand. Canelo's stepping to you and he's loading up, trying to chip you up with the big right hand. Like, it's almost like he has somewhere to be. And the worst thing about it is Canelo didn't fight like this in the light. Just listen to what I'm saying. Canelo didn't fight like this in the lighter divisions, like 154, Canelo weighted 155. Why would you do it against bigger guys? That's stupid. That's foolish. You're fighting naturally bigger guys who are strong, and now you're fighting this one-dimensional load up on every shot type of style against Bivol, who's 6 feet tall and bigger and got craft and got fundamentals, against John Ryder, who's fought at 168. You know, it doesn't make sense. It's lazy. And if Canelo fights the people I tell you to see him fight and push for, he's going to have a lot of issue and a lot of trouble. He's either going to get beat, get dropped, a combination of those things, or at the very least, his fights, he's not going to look invincible and he's going to have a lot of issue. The writing is on the wall. Golovkin was 41 years old and went 12 rounds with him when it looked like doomsday in the first half of the fight. John Ryder, who's less accomplished than Triple G, who doesn't hit as hard as Triple G, and is not 40 years old, but he's 34 and he was overmatched. He's fighting with all the odds against him in front of 50,000, and Canelo can't close the show. There's no way he could be pound for pound. You look at David Morrell, Jaron Ennis, Benavidez, and Plant, and look at Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, Usyk, Dimitri Bivol. You look at how all these guys are fighting against the level. Like Bivol's fighting a 6'3", 6'2.5" Zordo Ramirez, who was unbeaten and dominating and not getting touched up, not getting tired. How can you have Canelo as pound for pound top 3? It's foolish. I don't care what he's done or what. Boxing is a what have you done for me lately type of sport. Like Janet Jackson said, what have you done for me lately? And Canelo hasn't done it. Scruggle City. I'm the best in the business, so you subscribe to me, and I'm out. Introducing Super Thanks. Right here on the official Boxingego YouTube. Super Thanks allows you, the viewers, to show a little bit of extra gratitude, which enables me as a full-time content creator to push out the content you need in the world of boxing. Underneath all the videos, you will see a heart with the $sign in it. You can enter any amount that you find suitable as a super thanks. A brand new interactive and colorful way to get your comments highlighted and noticed by not only myself, but other people on the YouTube platform. Super thanks, a unique and cool way to show and applaud us full-time content creators. Hopefully you guys enjoy the content. Super thanks. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster. We working.